Tariffs. Here we go. Eek. All right. Here we go. Tariffs. Have a look at this table. All right. It says Johannesburg uses the area of a property to determine the sanitation bill. We have tariffs for Joburg here and Cape Town. All right. So at the top there, you can see that depending on your property size, that is the tariff that you are going to pay. All right. That is the tariff you're going to pay. The Cape Town tariff table looks similar to something you guys have used before. All right. They're both actually the same thing. They're both sliding scale tariff tables. They just look a bit different. Okay. Cape Town is VAT inclusive and Johannesburg's one is VAT exclusive. There's a lot of information here. We also have two parts to this tariff table. And for Cape Town, we've got an increase being shown over there, and then we have the actual tariff being shown over there. So a lot of information on this table here. We could ask a lot of questions. Okay. At the bottom there, it says sanitation refers to wastewater that is drained from a household. Just in case you didn't know what sanitation is, it's the wastewater. Here's the first question. Write down to the nearest 10 cents and excluding VAT, the cost for sanitation in Johannesburg if a property is 175 meters squared. Okay, I'm going to write it up here on the side. We're looking at a property that is 175 meters squared. Okay, round off to the nearest 10 cents, and we want VAT excluded, and these values are VAT excluded. We can see that over there. Who's got an answer for me? Write down to the nearest 10 cents the tariff for a property that is 175 meters squared. Anybody? So quick question. Somebody. There's Miss Kier. We are matrix. Come on now, guys. Come on now, guys. All right. We're looking for the tariff for a property that is 175 meters squared for Johannesburg. All right. And we need to round off to the nearest 10 cents, and it must be VAT excluding, but the table already is VAT excluding. Oh, sorry, guys. There's the question at the bottom. So all I did was I wrote the 175 square meters. In fact, you can see all the table now. 228,10. Charles has got an answer there. 228,10. Anybody else? Only Charles tonight? All right, it's around. Yes, the answer is coming in. You're all agreeing with Charles here. 228,10. Yes. Okay, so it's 175 meters squared, and this line here says up to and including 300 meters squared. So that's the bracket that we're working in. And we are looking therefore at this tariff here, which is 228 Rand and 6 cents. But we need to round that off to the nearest 10 cents. So we will say 228,10. Easy peasy, money in the bag. Money in the bag. Where's the meat? Money in the bag is too easy. Come on now. Let's move on to the next question. Guys, remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, put it in chat as we go along. So I'm going to just bring this answer down here and pop it over here. All right, there we go. Next question. Calculate the cost for 4.1 kiloliters of sanitation in Cape Town before the increase. 4.1 kiloliters in Cape Town before the increase. Sure, there's a lot going on here. 4.1 kiloliters for Cape Town before the increase. I need someone to come online and help me and tell me, what do I do? I need some advice here on where do I look, what do I do, where do I start? 4-mark question, so there's a little bit to it. 4.1 kiloliters in Cape Town. Before the increase, I need to calculate that cost. Anyone have an idea? Where's my people? Yeah, there's a table there. So the table's up top. Whoopsie. This is all we need to look at here. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. There we go. That's what we're looking at. That's the Cape Town table. They Sufisa, they won't say that. 1 cent? No, they won't. They won't say that. In fact, if you get a rand value of 228,0678, something like that, with 4 decimal places, you are always trying to round off to the second decimal place. And if they say round off to the nearest whole cent, that's the one we're looking at anyway. Okay, so they say to the nearest cent, we're looking at that second decimal and how it's going to change, which is the second decimal place that we always round off to. So I don't think they'll say that. If they do, they're very nasty. 10 cents, a rand, 10 rands, or 100 rands. That's what they'll choose. So it's rounding off to a cent, which means the second decimal place, which is what we round off to anyway. So I don't think they'll say to the nearest cent. Is there anybody out there? You guys are going to make me do this on my own.
Sounds like no one wants to talk to us tonight.
No, like you say, it's crickets.
But I see we've got Bianca on the line.
Hi, sir.
Bianca, how are you?
I'm finding you, sir.
Good. How are we going to do this? Where do we start?
Sir, can I try?
Yeah, of course.
I think we need to find the difference between 7.35 kilometers. I think we need to subtract 7.35 kilometers minus 4.2 kiloliters.
Okay, and then what you going to do with that?
And then you need to multiply it by
What are the tariffs there?
You need to multiply it by 16.03. I'm not sure.
Okay, no. You're on the right track there. You're on the right track. Okay, but the first thing you said was we need to work in this bracket here. You said 7.35 and 4.2, but the kiloliters they gave us is 4.1. So your second thing that you said was work with this tariff. That is correct. The 16 rand and 3 cents is correct. We need to be working in this first line here. All right, that's the line we need to be working in because we got 4.1, which is below 4.2. So from 0 to 4.2, that's the one we're working in. Now, they say before the increase. What do they mean by that?
Before the increase.
Yeah, where does it talk about an increase in this table?
They're from the increase from previous.
Yes, so what that means is it increased from the previous tariff to this tariff. The increase was 0.66 rands. So do they want us to use the new one or do they want us to use the previous one?
From the previous one.
Yes. So how are we going to find that what the previous tariff was?
Don't you need to multiply it by 16.03 kilometers?
We do need to multiply the kiloliters in the tariff. Eventually we do. But this tariff here, the 16.03 is the current tariff. It increased by 66 cents to this one here, 16 rand and 3 cents. They're saying we mustn't use this current one. We've got to use what it was before the increase. So if something increased by 66 cents to 16 rand and 3, now what was it before? How are we going to find that? So let's say the price of a chocolate increased by 2 rand and is now 28 Rand. What was the previous price?
The previous price was 20, what did you say?
20, it says it increased by 2 Rand to 28 Rand. I'll write it on the screen here. So it increased by 2 Rand, you add on 2, and now the new price is 28. So how do we find what the original number was?
Oh, you need to subtract it.
Yes, we need to subtract. So we're going to subtract 66 cents from the new current tariff first to find out what the previous tariff was. So 1603 minus 66 cents. This will tell us what the previous tariff was. So 16.03 minus 66 cents. The previous tariff was 15.37. That was the previous tariff before the increase. All right. Now, like you said, we've got 41 kiloliters. There it is. I've written it there at the top. We're working in the first bracket. So every kiloliter in this bracket gets charged at 60. Oh, the one we're working with is 15 Rand 37 per kiloliter. And like you said, we must multiply them.
Yes.
So 4,1 kiloliters. And the price we are using is the previous price of 15 Rand 37. That'll give me
63,017.
63,017. We round that off to
It's
63.
63, sir.
63. We're going to 2 decimal places. So we're going to look at the second decimal here, which is the 1.
It is 012.
0.
02.
That's it, Bianca. Superstar. Well done, Bianca. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good job. Yes. All right. Good. You guys are talking about it online. Yes. Good. You know the story. All right. So there we go. So an extra step here, we had to work with the previous tariff and not just the one on the screen, which is making this a 4-mark question. It adds a level of difficulty. Let's move on. Come on, getting into deeper, darker waters. Oh my gosh, look at this. 8 marks. Guys. Let's see. Now, when you see an 8-mark question, you freak out. This is the hard one. I don't know if I can do it. Where do I start? How do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece, mouthful by mouthful, 1 piece at a time. Okay, you'll eventually get there. Mr. Jones lives in Johannesburg and Miss Brown lives in Cape Town. They both own a property with an area of 550 meters squared, and each was billed for 22 kiloliters of sanitation. Use the table above to determine the difference in the cost for the two. So we're going to do 2 separate calculations and compare. All right, so it's not so bad. We're just going to use the 2 different tables, one for Joburg, one for Cape Town, and then compare. All right, who is going to help me? I'm going to need more space here. Come on, be brave now. Be brave, people. Where are the matrix? Come on, matrix.
Yeah, this is going to be good practice for them for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
This is a good practice question for tomorrow. Where are the matrix? Hey, kids, crickets.
Yeah, no, slow night, eh? Ben to the rescue.
Bianca's like, let me duck out of here before they ask me. Ben, are you there?
Yes, hi sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
Good. Are you writing tomorrow?
Yes, I'm fine.
We wish you all the best. All right. So they said both houses, Johannesburg and Cape Town, are 500 meters squared. That's the size of their property. And they're both using 22 kiloliters. And we've got to work it out on 22 kiloliters. Now, Ben, here's my question to you first of all. The Johannesburg one, all right? We can see here that they base their tariffs on house or property area, yeah?
Yes.
So do we need to even worry about this 22 kiloliters for Johannesburg?
No,
No.
you're just doing the calculations for Cape Town.
Yeah. So the 22 liters is for Cape Town. The 500 meters squared is for Joburg. So I'm going to cross out here. We don't worry about area in Cape Town, just the kiloliters. In Joburg, we worry about area. So let's do the Joburg one first. Which bracket am I going to work in if I'm using 500 meters squared?
The second one.
The second one. All right. So that's the bracket we got to work with. And they say larger than 300 meters, less than 1,000. That's the bracket we're working in for sure. And it's a flat tariff of 443. And this is obviously per kiloliter. So the 22 will be used, but it's 443. Hold on. No, that's a flat tariff. Let's check. The sanitation tariffs for Joburg and Cape Town are presented. Johannesburg uses the area of a property to determine the sanitation bill. Cape Town uses a percentage of the total water usage to determine the sanitation bill, the same way as they calculate the water bill. All right, so Joburg, as I understand it, is a flat rate. This is not per kiloliter. It can't be because it's too big. So that saves us some work. All right, so we're just gonna say Joburg's area is his tariff is 443.96. Hey Ben,
Yes.
it's not per kiloliter here. All right, so 443. Oh, does the question want VAT or not? It doesn't say. Ben, what should we do? The question doesn't say if we must include VAT or not. What do you think we should do?
I think we shouldn't include that because the Cape Town one is inclusive of that.
Very good. You can't compare apples with oranges. We've got to make them both the same. So if Cape Town is including, either we've got to remove the VAT there, or for Joburg, we'll have to add the VAT. Just remember that. Okay, so let's do Joburg first. So Ben, I'm just going to take that 443.96 and include VAT, eh?
Yes.
How do I do that?
Is it not 15 divided by 100?
Yes, we
Or
times
115?
There we go. That's much easier. So 115, that'll get you there in one step. Excellent, Ben. I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, that'll get you there in one step. So 443.96 times 115 over 100. And that gives us 510, 554, 510, 554. And that rounds off to 510. Let me just check my answer, and 55. Yeah. All right. That's Joburg done, Ben. Let's go to Cape Town. We got 22 kiloliters. All right, Ben, this is going to take a little bit of work, eh?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to remind you again. The first 0 to 4.2 kiloliters is charged, at this rate. Thereafter, the next above 4.2 up to 7.35 is charged at this rate. Thereafter, 7.35 to 24.5 is charged at this rate. So we're going to work through the brackets, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with the first one. So we've got 22 kiloliters, Ben. I need to charge for the first 4.2 kiloliters. So I'm going to start this off by saying I've got 22. The first 4.2, I'm going to take this 4.2 off my 22, all right? And that leaves me with 22 minus 4.2 leaves me with 17.8 kiloliters left. That must be charged at a different rate. But this first 4.2 gets to be charged at this rate. Can you see the rate there?
Yes.
16.03. All right, so I must charge the first 4.2 at 16.03. All right, work with me now. Everyone should be working with me. 16.03. Yes, I'm moving up and down. It's a little bit distracting. 67.326. Ben, should I round this off here?
No, at the end.
Very good. All right, so that's the first 4.2 kiloliters done. What do I do now?
You go to the next bracket.
The next bracket. Okay. Now, are we going to go through this bracket into the third one?
Oh, yes, 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 sure.
We will. All right. So we got to know how much is in this third bracket here. How much water, because we're going to go all the way through there, but how much is in there? How much sanitation is in there? It's 4.2 up to 7.35. So we obviously got to do a little calculation to see how many kiloliters are in there.
Yes.
So 7.35 minus 4.2. I've got 3.15 in there. I'm just going to write it like that. So I've got 3.15 kiloliters in that bracket. I'm definitely going to go through that. So I'm going to use all 3.15. So what should I do here?
You should times it by 22.02.
Okay, I'm going to write that here. So 3.15 times it by 22. You said 22.02. All right. 3.15 times 22.02, 69.363. 69.363. How much water do I have left still to go?
Well, you already put in 11.55, and they're asking for 22, so it would be 10.45 left.
Yeah, so you can see here, I did that first calculation to say I've got 17.8 after I took the 4.2 off. I'm going to do something similar here to check. We had 17.8 and we had to take off 3.15, which means we have 17.8 minus 3.15, which means we have 14.65. All right, we've got 14.65 kiloliters left. Now we're going to go into the third bracket, hey?
Yes.
Are we going to go all the way through that third bracket?
No, just go until you reach 22
Yeah,
kiloliters.
all right. Yes, we're going to go somewhere in there. We're not going all the way through. So what we do now is we've got 14.65 kiloliters of water left. We know these kiloliters are charged at 30 Rand and 92 per kiloliter. I've got 14 something left. So I'm going to say 14 something times 30.92. Hey?
Yes.
All right. All right. So I don't need to work out any more water. I just go to the last one, 14.65 kiloliters times 30.92. All right. 14.65 times 30.92. Yo, 452.978. 452.978. All right, Ben, what do I do now?
You add all of them up.
Very good. So now I've got the Rand values for each bracket. There's the one, there's the other, and there's the last one. We add them all up. Guys, I'm not going to write it down. I'm not going to say this plus that because I don't want to save time. I'm just going to do it on my calculator just to save time. You could do it in the exam, all right? But I'm not going to do it. I'm being lazy. Just move that thing over there and bring the calculator this side. So I'm going to say 67.32 plus 326 plus 69.363 plus 452.978. 589,667. 589,667. And we round that off 589,67. You happy with that, Ben?
Yes.
All right. So you sound like you're very confident with tariffs.
Oh, yes, yes. I actually like it.
I also like tariffs. I don't know why everyone stresses out these bit. All right, Ben, thank you so much for your help, man.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, now, do we need to worry about VAT? Well, Joburg, we added the VAT in. Cape Town is already VAT inclusive. So these are the two values that we have. So what I'm going to do quickly now, because they said, if we read the question again, they said use the table above to determine the difference in the cost. So to find the difference in the cost, we're going to take Cape Town and we're going to minus Johannesburg because Cape Town is bigger. So we're going to say 589,67 minus 510,55 and find the difference. So 589,67 minus 510,55 and the difference is 79 Rand and 12 cents. So Joburg saving a bit of money by being in Joburg. 604,304 Tando. All right, all these people saying I need help, guys. Let's start with Safiso. Safiso, come online, my friend. Safiso, where's Safiso?
Just look for a message on your screen. There we go.
There we go. Safiso,
Good day, sir.
good day. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
Good. What's the problem? How can we help you?
Oh, so I get a bit
What's the problem? How can we help you?
I get a bit lost on the on top, sir. I don't know how we do some things, like why are we minusing and all that, sir?
Okay. Are you talking about these lines here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm doing there is I'm keeping track of the water usage. All right. You start off with 22. You got to take some water out and charge it at a rate and see what's left. Then take another portion of the water out and charge it at a different rate and see what's left. Then you might even go into the fourth bracket. So you take some out again and charge it at a third rate. All right. So what? Yeah.
You need to go brackets by brackets, sir.
Yeah, you got to work through each bracket. You can't say because we got 22, we charge a flat rate here. And we just charge all 22 at 30 Rand 92. You can't do that. This is a sliding scale tariff, which means you see, and the reason why they do this is because they're trying to prevent people from using too much water or too much sanitation. So what they do is they say that from 0 to 4.2 liters, very low charge. But if you start going over that now, so you say, for example, you're on 5 kiloliters, we're charging you a new rate for that little extra bit. Okay. So a sliding scale tariff works like that. You charge the first 4.2 kiloliters at 16 Rand and 3 cents. After that, any other kiloliters you have, you got to charge at a new rate.
Oh,
okay. So what we're doing is we're taking out 22 kiloliters.
Yes, sir.
The bottom 4.2, you charge at 16 Rand,3. The next, we see here, that's why we wrote 3.15 kiloliters there. The next 3.15 kiloliters, you must charge at 22.02. And then, so whenever I see these tariff tables, I always tell my students to please quickly calculate how much is in each tariff. So we should have done 24.5 minus 7.35. 17.5. So we know there's 17.5 kiloliters in here.
So do you advise that during the exam or test, we just calculate it before, like, we start with the question?
Yeah, or you can look at the question. We had 22 kiloliters in this question. So I know I'm not going to go through the third bracket because that goes up to 24. So then I'm only going to do it for the first two brackets. So now I've got 4.2 liters in there, and I've got 3.15 in the second bracket. I'm not going through the 3.15 in the second bracket. I'm not going through the. There was an echo there. Razan, I'm just going to mute you. Well, there we go. So I'm not going to go through the third bracket. So I'm just worried about the first two. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So my minusing here is keeping track of how much water I'm taking out of for each bracket. All right. So you can see here, this 4.2 was charged at 16 Rand 3 at that point. This 3.5 was charged at 22 Rand and 2 cents at that point. After that, we didn't have to worry because we ended in the third bracket. Then you don't have to worry. All the water, the rest of the water will be charged at this final 30 Rand 92.
Oh, okay. So
okay. So it's just step-by-step calculation. All right, Razan. Lazan is trying to get Razan. I think it was Razan that I had a question. So we don't look for waters in between first. If you give you a tariff table, they're usually going to ask you a question like this. All right. So when you look at the tariff table and you see, we've got a first bracket up 4.2, second bracket goes up to 7.35, third bracket goes up to 24.5, and they hit you with 30 kiloliters. We're going to go through the first, the second, the third, and we're going to end up in the fourth bracket there, because the fourth bracket goes from 24 to 35. Okay. Then I would have determined all the brackets to get that water out first, because I know I'm going to go through all of these. I'm going to go through 4.2 liters in the first bracket. I'm going to go 3.15 in the second, and maybe 11.3 in the third, and end in the last one, the fourth one there. So it does help to know. You're going to have to know how much water or sanitation is in each bracket if you're going to work through them. All right. If you end in one of them, you don't have to worry. But if you're going to work through those brackets, you need to know how much is in there. All right. So in this calculation here, these two here, the 4.2 and 3.5, I knew I was going to work through all the water in there. So I had to know what those values are. You can work it out as you go, but I always recommend you're going to get a tariff question, find out what that water is. So why didn't you add 16 and 3? 16 and 3 is the tariff. The tariff that we charge at. So this 16 and 3 here, let me just erase some highlighting. In fact, let's do it like this. So 16 and 3 is not the amount you're paying for the total water. The 16 and 3 cents is a price per kiloliter for the water. So 16 and 3 and 22.02, those are per kiloliter prices. Okay, we need to use them and multiply by how much water we have to get a total for this bracket. So this is bracket number 1's final amount. This is bracket number 2's final amount. And this last one here is bracket number 3's final amount. So there they are there. All right. So those are the things we need to add up to make the final total for this sum. Kiev, is Razan still around?
I tried to unmute her, but wasn't very successful in my venture.
Okay. Razan, just check your screen there. If you still have a question, there's an option to unmute. Otherwise, we will move on. Sure, guys, that was a meaty question. That was rump steak, 500 grams of rump steak right there. Okay. Let's see what else they've got. Oh gosh, here we go. There's the next question, Stu. Explain how the tariff system used in Johannesburg is beneficial to homeowners in terms of water usage. Now, this is a subjective question, no calculation needed. Explain how the tariff tables in Johannesburg is beneficial to homeowners in terms of water usage. Anyone want to take a guess at this one? How is the Johannesburg tariffs beneficial to Johannesburg homeowners in terms of water usage? How do Johannesburg people benefit? Anyone want to take a guess? This is a subjective question. Or can we move on? So I would say because I'll go back down to the question. Come on now, move. There we go. Where is it? There. Explain how the tariff system used in Joburg is beneficial to homeowners in terms of water usage? How does the tariff system in Joburg benefit the homeowners in terms of their water usage? Why is the tariff system in Joburg better for them? Yeah, so there's a few things you could say here. So there's no sliding scale here. All right. So if you are on 300 square meters, you're paying the same as the person who's on 1,000 square meters. So people with smaller properties in that bracket will benefit. And sorry, it's the other way around. People with bigger properties will benefit. All right. So you're paying the same amount as a home that's 300 square meters. And it's a flat rate. So it doesn't matter how much water you use. They're not going to charge you depending on your usage. It's just fixed on your property size. You don't have to worry how much you use. You just can use and use and use and use. Whereas the Cape Town one, as you go up in usage, and they will have to record your usage, you're going to get charged more if you go into another bracket. In Joburg, they're not measuring. They just look at your property size and do a once-off rate, which means anyone from 300 to 1,000 square meters for that second bracket is paying the same. So the guy who's got a 1,000 square meter property is smiling. He's paying just as much as a guy with a 300 square meter property. And he can use as much as he wants. They both can use as much as they want. All right. Let's move on to a new one, guys. I got more for you. Here we go. Electricity can be purchased from Eskom in two ways. We know this a fact: prepaid and postpaid. Refer to the comparative table below to answer the questions that follow. So there's two ways you can pay: prepaid or postpaid. So there's prepaid here. There's the prepaid one. And postpaid is underneath it there. So this whole table here is postpaid. All right. And we can see a tariff system for the postpaid payments. All right. Prepaid expense and accrued expense. See, I was talking accounting stuff now. There's tariffs there. And so these are the brackets here. All right. There are the three brackets. And on the right-hand side, we've got the cost, rands per kilowatt hour. Okay, so you can have a sliding scale tariff system for electricity. Prices exclude VAT, by the way. Just remember that. All right, the other questions. Determine how many kilowatt hours are in the two brackets of the tariff system. Sorry, it should be plural. How many kilowatt hours are in the two brackets of the tariff system? In fact, let's do all three. How many kilowatts in these brackets? It's a useful thing to do, especially if you get a question. Here's a certain number of kilowatts. Calculate the total. Now, one thing I want to pay your attention to. You can call it income and expenses. Yes. One thing I want to draw your attention to. Look at what they do here. The first bracket says from 0 to 50 kilowatt hours. The next bracket starts at 50,1. Can anyone tell me why they started at 50,1? That's deceiving, that comma 1 there. I've seen people make a mistake with that comma 1. Why do they do that? All right. We go from 0 to 50, and then we got to go from 50 to 350. All right. Now, if you have 350, you're in that bracket and you're in that bracket. So what they do is to show you that you're over 50 in this bracket here at the bottom, they change this number to 50,1. All right, which says you over 50, anything over 50. All right. But what guys do is when they work out how many kilowatts are in each bracket, they'll say 350 minus 50,1, which gives them 299,9. That's not really what they're wanting you to do, because what if someone has 50,05 kilowatt hours? Which bracket do they fall into? Who can tell me? If you have 50,05 kilowatt hours, which bracket are you falling into? The first bracket or the second bracket? Ah, Tumeling. But the second bracket only starts at comma 1. I've got comma 05, which is before comma 1. And Bianca's saying the first one, but I'm over 50. That only goes up to 50. Dilshat's also saying the first one. But guys, I've got over 50. It's 50,05. But it's also under 50,1. You see, the point I'm trying to make is this comma 1 here isn't actually a real value. It's just their way of saying anything over 50. All right, I hope you understand that. It's not an actual, yeah, Zana should be the second one. It's not an actual value. It's just saying anything over 50. The core maths way to say, to do this properly would be to say, like this, all right? And core maths used to learn about inequalities, all right? So what this means is the kiloliters that are above 50, but less than and equal to 350. And then the next line would say 350. That guarantees you won't get stuck between any brackets. All right, so that's another way of writing up to 350, and then you go over 350 into the next bracket. Okay, if you're on 350, you have to be here. If you're above 350, then you're here. All right, but because this is math literacy, we want to show you inequality signs. I've seen them before in an exam. I've seen tariff tables with these things before, but what they do is they do the little comma 1 trick. All it means is you move into the next bracket if you're above 50. All right, so our 50,05 would mean we are in the second bracket. Okay, now when I ask you how many kilowatt hours are in each bracket, please don't use the comma 1. All right, for the first bracket, we've got 50 kilowatts. We can see that. That's easy to do. For the second bracket, we'll subtract. We'll say 350. Don't say comma 1. You just do that. All right. That gives me 300. The next bracket, we've got 600 minus 350. This gives us 250 in that bracket. So we've got 50 in the first bracket, we got 300 in the second bracket, and we got 250 in the third bracket. Okay, that answers that question number 1. All right, I hope you guys are all with me. Don't put the comma 1, please. Next question. The Smiths household consists of 3 people. They use 649.9 kilowatts of electricity on the post-paid system, the tariff 1. How much would they be expected to pay, excluding VAT, for their electricity? Safisa, because that comma 1 is, like I explained, it's just trying to show you that it's anything above 50. If you had 50,05, you'd be stuck between brackets. You wouldn't know which bracket to use. All right. So it's just their way of saying anything above 50. In fact, the more correct way to do it would be to say 50,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,1. Write a whole lot of zeros and then a 1. That shows you you've just gone above 50. That's a more correct way to do it, but you need a lot of zeros. So instead of saying lots of zeros, they just say 50,1. All right. What if they had said this? What if they had written this? 51 to 350. They could have done it that way as well. So if you're not 50, you're 51, you're in the second bracket now. But what if people got 50,5 kilowatt hours? Where would they sit? You'd be stuck between 2 brackets. You're not 50 and you're not 51. You're in between. You see, you'd be stuck to decide which bracket to use. So to get rid of that confusion, they said, all right, fine. We won't use 51. We'll use a smaller number, 50,1. All right. In fact, to be more correct, you should make it even smaller. So there's no confusion. So you should say it's 50,000,001. Then there won't be any confusion. You won't get stuck between a bracket. All right. I I hope you understand. All right. So the question one says, how many kilowatt hours are there in each bracket? So in the first bracket from 0 to 50, how many kilowatt hours are there? We can see they're written on the side. The first bracket are 50 kilowatt hours. 50 minus 0 is 50. Second bracket from 50,1 to 350, which is the same as just over 50 to 350, we got about 300 kilowatt hours there. Okay. And then in the last one from 350 to 600, we've got 250 kilowatts in there. So we've got 50 in here, we've got 300 in here, and we've got 250 in here. All right. Now we're going to do the question that we always see. All right. If we have 649,9 kilowatts, how much will they pay? I'm going to run through this very quickly. All right, because we don't have much time left. We still got to give you a quiz. So 649,9. So I'm going to say 649,9. I'm going to take away 50 because that's the first bracket. All right. And then I'm going to charge that 50. By the way, how much do we have left? We've got 5. It's 599,9. 649,9 minus 50 is 599,9. 599,9 kilowatts. That 50 must be charged at 69 cents per kilowatt. All right. So 50 times 0.69 cents for each one of those kilowatts gives me 34.5. All right. I still have 599 kilowatts left. Well, the second bracket has 300 kilowatts in it. So I'm going to move all the way through there and go into the third one. But all the kilowatts in the second bracket comes to 300. All right. So I'm moving through that bracket. So I'm going to say I've got 599. The second bracket has 300 in it. So I'm going to take 300 and charge it at a new rate. This leaves us with 2. Let's check it out. All right. Minus 300 should be 2. Whoopsie. 10. Get rid of that. 599.9 minus 300. 299.9. So 299.9 kilowatts. That's how much I have left. This 300 is charged at 0.81 rands per kilowatt hour. Okay. Each one of those kilowatts is 0.81. So 300 times 0.81. 243 rand. I still have 299 kilowatts left. Am I going to go through all of this bracket? Oh, I actually am. Then what do? There isn't even a fourth bracket. They haven't even given us a thing for the fourth bracket. So we're going to have to make this smaller, guys. Let's make it 500. Will 500 keep us there? Let's make it 500. So let's change this 6, 4. Sorry. 4. Because they don't even have a tariff for the last bracket. So this is 4, which means this is 1. All right. So there we go. So that's 199. All right. I've got 199 left. And I'm not going to go through the last bracket with 199. I'm going to get stuck in there somewhere. So every kilowatt hour in there is charged at 1 Rand 27. I've got 199 Rand of them. So I don't need to do a subtraction sum anymore. This is all I have left, and I'm stuck in the last bracket, which charges at 1 Rand 27. Yes. Right, so the last remaining kilowatts are charged at 1 Rand 27. 199.9 times 1.27 is 253.873. 253.873. And then we add these totals up. I'm not going to do it now, but we will add those three totals up to get the final answer. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Cecilia, I'm going to explain again to you while Kia puts the link for the quizzes online. There is a tariff question in there, so please try it out. Now that you've seen us practice this, please try it out. And Matrix, we wish you all the best for tomorrow. We won't see you before Monday, so we wish you all the best for tomorrow. And if you're writing on Monday, good luck. I hope it goes well. We'll see everyone back here on Tuesday again. All right. I hope it goes well, Matrix. All the best for you. Leslie, I'm going to quickly go through this again with you. All right. So we said we got 549 kilowatts. Okay, but before we do the calculation, we got to look at our tariff table, and we see that we have 50 kilowatts in the first bracket, we have 300 kilowatts in the second bracket, and 250 kilowatts in the third bracket. Okay, so we've got 549. All right, so we're going to end up somewhere here in this third bracket with 549. We're going to go through the first bracket, use all the kilowatts in there, through the second bracket, use all the kilowatts in there, and end up in the third bracket. All right. So the first 50 kilowatts must be taken off what you used, 549. Take it off 549 and charge it at at 0.69 rands. So that is what we did. So this is what we did here. All right. We took 50 kilowatts off, and we charge those 50 kilowatts at 0.69 cents. Okay, but still remembering that we have some kilowatts left over in the question. All right, you can see it over there. It's 499 kilowatts. Okay, so right here at the end is 499 kilowatts we still have. Okay, now the second bracket has 300 kilowatts in it. We still got 499. We got lots. We can go all the way through the second bracket, which has 300 kilowatts in it. So I took my 499 kilowatts, took off 300 for the second bracket, which means I only have 199 rand left. And that 300 is charged at the second bracket rate, which is 0 rands and 81 cents. Okay. So we've gone through the whole of the second bracket now. There's 300 kilowatts in there. I still have 199 left over. So now I'm in the third bracket now. The third bracket has 250 kilowatts. I'm not going through there because I only have 199. I'm staying in there. Every kilowatt in there is charged at around 27. So the last calculation I do is 199, all the kilowatts I have left, charged at around 27, and that gives me that total there, 253 and 837. Then all the totals that we worked out for each bracket, the rand value, you must add them up. And this was VAT excluded. They wanted VAT excluded as well. Okay. All right, we're going to say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Matrix, all the best for tomorrow.